Hi, Dr. Joe. This is Katie Cole from Team 2 Service Learning Project. Colby and I, again, were not able to connect today to do our videos, just communication. So I am here to present my service learning project on St. Joseph's Emergency Family Shelter. I'm gonna pull up my PowerPoint here. There it is. So sorry about that. Wasn't where I thought it was. So I volunteered at the St. Joseph's Family Emergency Shelter in Des Moines in the Riverbend neighborhood. And this picture on the front is the new remodel that they did in 2011, just shaping up the outside of the building, but also creating more rooms inside and really expanding the inside so that they're able to accommodate more families. So St. Joseph's is just one of the charities within the Catholic Charities of Des Moines group organization. The Catholic Charities, they cover many areas supporting many different populations and groups of people within the state of Iowa, basically. They do anything from pregnancy support, counseling, refugee settlement, the Hispanic community, and just many more. But one of the reasons why we picked St. Joseph's was because of the family aspect. St. Joseph specifically works with the family as a whole, as a unit. And so with St. Joseph's, they are actually able to take in the entire family, so that way the parents don't get split up from the kids and things like that, and things get messy. So the facilities include private rooms. Each family gets their own room. There's laundry facilities for the residents to use. The staff there is phenomenal and very knowledgeable in being an advocate for the residents, being go-to people for assistance, for information, even in regards to transportation, making sure that that the residents have all the bus schedules. I was there during tax season, and they were able to provide free tax prep for the residents there. So they just have a lot of assistance programs for the residents, and the staff is very knowledgeable at getting everybody connected. So just some statistics here, and Colby did help me with this page. She kind of helped with the beginning portion of the slideshow here. Last year, in the year 2016, 106 families found shelter. 157 of them were adults, 201 children, and a total of about 358 people. And 33 of those families actually found permanent housing after their time at St. Joseph's. So that's a very encouraging number to see. So part of my volunteer work that I did was cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the dining room, sweeping, and kind of picking up after the lunch hour. I also did some of the chores for the residents, cleaning windows. And then lastly, they kind of gave me a project where I organized the donation closet, which was also an interesting task in and of itself, but something that Ashley requested that I get done. So While it may have seemed that some of the tasks were monotonous and maybe a little boring at times, I had a conversation with Ashley at one point during my hours, and she just said how much she appreciated um, my doing the work that I was doing, because then she was able to better serve um, the residents. She could get back to doing her work at her desk, and kind of attend to some of those other stuff. So being able to take a few things off her plate was encouraging for me. So some of the objectives that we had stated at the beginning, just the ability to get to know that community better, the different just different people, different races, different socioeconomic statuses, things like that. Um, Kind of getting a better understanding of how they get people from their facility and get them into independent living, and then also how are they serving those in their community. So um, definitely didn't quite meet some of those objectives, but kind of ended up meeting other objectives that I hadn't originally arranged. So definitely appreciate that the organizations in that neighborhood, as I can now see them each working together to serve that community, and they're not working against each other and competing. Each organization in that community has a different strength and a different population that they might serve, or a different way in which they serve. Um, I had an opportunity through work actually to tour the Grub YMCA, which is a neighbor of St. Joseph's. And there I got to see more of the community, the people in the community. So that was really amazing too, and got to have a few conversations with the people there. Um, Getting to see the materials that is offered to the residents as far as assistance programs and things like that. I know they've got a lot going on there. And yeah, just being further encouraged that the shelter is taking care of the family as a whole, and their purpose is to keep the family together. So, just a few takeaways that I got from this program of definitely learning a new appreciation for the organizations in that neighborhood is it's a big task to take on. That's a very um, challenging neighborhood, one that I probably wouldn't necessarily go down to just hang out in that neighborhood. And so those organizations that are really trying to make their community more friendly and more safe. And I definitely appreciate the work that they're doing there. Um, and just having that mind shift, after having that conversation with Ashley, I kind of had a different shift in perception, or just kind of a different mind shift of who I was serving. As I'm scrubbing tables, I struggle if I'm really making a difference. But after having that conversation with Ashley and knowing that she's able to get other work done because I'm taking care of these marginal tasks, um, was really encouraging to know that I was making a difference. And so while my goal was to serve that community and serve the residents and get to know the residents, it was a lot of um, about me and selfish ambition. Um, but the person who needed to be served in that scenario was Ashley. Um, we talk about um, burnout and how do we care when caring is hard, and um, getting to serve Ashley and seeing the relief of getting tasks done, um, so that she didn't have to, and seeing a relief on her face was priceless. It was all that mattered. um, on here I have serving isn't convenient, and I don't say that as a complaint. I say that as a very true statement. It's not convenient. It's not about convenience. Serving is about putting yourself aside so that you can help others. And so, yeah, it was a struggle driving all the way across town in the middle of the afternoon. It wasn't convenient. Um, a lot of things about this project were not convenient, but it wasn't about convenience. It was about serving others. And so that definitely was a learning point, that serving others isn't convenient for myself, but that's okay. And then lastly, the way in which I've grown in my servant leadership is just having eyes open past the people that we would typically serve. You know, we're taught to serve the homeless and to serve the underprivileged and to serve the refugees, and rightfully so, we should. Um, and amazingly enough, there are so many organizations out there that are already doing that. But it made me start to think about, well, who is serving those organizations? Who's donating to those organizations? Who's going in, getting their hands dirty, and helping out those organizations to do those menial tasks so that way they can get to the bigger issues going on. Um, and while that's a big concept and it's a big task to tackle, it just definitely was my growth area, I would say, probably for this semester. So, um, yeah, it's been a great experience through this whole semester of learning what truly is servant leadership. And I have had an incredible time reading the literature, and just really soaking in a lot of these concepts that these authors have put into words. Um, and even though Colby and I haven't had the opportunity to meet in person, we've kind of struggled with getting together. It's been fun getting to know her. We do text back and forth, and we try to make things work schedule wise. We both have gone through career changes, or job changes, I should say, this past semester, which made scheduling even harder. Um, but I have gotten to know her a little bit, and we have worked together as much as we can on this. I do want to give her credit for helping me on the PowerPoint a little bit, um, because I know she's probably going to have to do her own. But it's been good to get to know her. It's been good to get to know you, Dr. Joe, and I've really enjoyed your class this semester.